Hello, am I audible, sir?
Yes.
So, very good evening to everyone. This is Rahul Mehta from Gentra Task Force, and I feel extremely delighted to introduce speakers of today's session. Dr. P.C. Manoria, sir. He is a renowned and eminent cardiologist from Bhopal with more than 30 years of experience. And sir is having own setup at Manoria Hospital, Bhopal. So, sir, please welcome.
Can I start?
Yes, sir. Over to you, sir. Can we have slides, please?
Now I'll present my slides.
Okay, sir. Sure. Thank you, sir.
Are you able to see my slides? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is very clear.
So for the next 15 to 20 minutes, I'll be talking on Vericiguat, the new blockbuster for worsening heart failure. All of us know the human myocyte is not endowed with an endogenous capacity for repair. Once dead, is dead forever. And therefore, heart failure, once sets in, runs a malignant progression with a very high morbidity and mortality. The 5-year mortality may be to the tune of 50%, a figure higher than most of the malignant lesions. In diabetics, the 5-year mortality may be to the tune of 85%. Drug therapy or device therapy no doubt blunts this malignant progression, increases longevity, but does not arrest it. So the usual story in a patient with heart failure is that initially there's a good response to the current pharmacotherapy of poor foundational drugs and other drugs, but as time passes on, because of progressive myocyte loss, the response is blunted and shows increased symptoms and signs of heart failure. So after a variable period, these patients require emergency department visits or OPD visits for initiation or escalation of oral diuretics or even intravenous diuretics, or he may be hospitalized for heart failure. And this is worsening heart failure. So worsening heart failure means the patient of chronic heart failure, despite previous stable background therapy, exhibits deterioration in symptoms or sign. He requires emergency department visits for IV diuretics, or unscheduled OP visits for IV diuretics, or unscheduled OP visits for escalation of or addition of oral diuretics, or he gets hospitalized for heart failure. And usually the NT-proBNP is more than 1,000 picograms per ml in sinus edem. And if the patient happens to be in atrial fibrillation, it's more than 1,600. BNP more than 300, more than 500 in F, or increase in NT-proBNP by 30%. So when we look at the evolution of drug therapy in heart failure, what do we find? We had the neurohormonal era for several years, AC inhibitors, ARB, then ARNI, beta blockers, MRS. Then we had the cardio-renal metabolic era from 2019 onwards, when SGLT2 were approved for clinical use in patients with heart failure, and they act by multiple mechanisms. But now we have another revolutionary era, the molecular era, with Vericiguat, which we will be discussing. So the first reason why worsening heart failure is so important to a clinician, because worsening heart failure events increases the risk of rehospitalization. if you have worsening heart failure, you are likely to get re-hospitalized again and again. In a large US registry, over half of the patients who were re-hospitalized within 30 days of a worsening HF events. The second reason is if you get hospitalized with worsening heart failure, there's a vicious circle. So you get discharged, you again get re-hospitalized. So that is another issue. And every hospitalization, every re-hospitalization takes the patient closer to death. And the 1 year mortality, as you can see, is fourfold in patients with worsening heart failure compared to chronic heart failure or de novo heart failure. So it's higher mortality. So what is the usual story of a patient? This is the usual patients. Mr. SS, 60 years, DCMP. He gets admitted with severe LV dysfunction, MR. He's put on all the convention. He has some CKD, EGFR is less. The serum markers are elevated, and he's put on all the 4 foundational drugs and other drugs, anti-diabetic medication, statins. He has iron deficiency also, which is prescribed intravenous iron. Then the patient presents after a few months with increasing dyspnea on exertion, NYHA class 3, requires escalation of diuretics. He is put on all the therapies, and this is the time when to initiate vericiguat. The usual dose, as we'll discuss later on, 2.5 milligram per day, and it can be gradually increased to 5 and 10 milligrams after 2 to 4 weeks. So the other issue is, can worsening heart failure occur in patient with quadruple therapy? People believe that the patient is all the 4 foundational drugs. Will worsening heart failure occur? The answer is yes. 1 in 7 patients get worsening heart failure even if they are on optimum doses of 4 foundational drugs, because the human myocyte is not endowed with an endogenous capacity for repair. Once dead is dead, and there's progressive apoptosis. 1 in 4 if he's on 3 foundational drugs. So how does vericiguat act? Vericiguat acts in a unique way. It directly stimulates the soluble guanylate cyclate, thereby increasing the production of cGMP, which provides various protective action. It also increases the sensitivity of nitrous oxide to stimulate soluble guanylate cyclate. Usually it is nitrous oxide which stimulates, but in heart failure, there's less nitrous oxide production due to endothelial dysfunction. So when you use drug, you can directly stimulate soluble guanylate cyclate. And you can see here, when cGMP is increased, you have decreased inflammation, decreased fibrosis and hypertrophy in the heart, decreased inflammation and increased vasodilatation in the blood vessel, and decreased fibrosis and increased renal blood flow. So it offers multifaceted benefits. What is the evidence in favor of vericiguat? The drug was approved after the landmark Victoria trial, which was carried out in patient with worsening heart failure. And again, you can see the same criteria. Either a patient gets hospitalized, uses intravenous diuretics, or the serum markers are elevated. So 2,500 patients in each arm, and you can see most of these patients had optimum background therapy, and you can see that less than 3 months after hospitalization, 67% were included. 3 to 6 months after hospitalization, 17%, and in hospital initiation was done in 11%, and less than 3 months after IV diuretic without hospitalization were also included in 16%. And this shows that there is a substantial reduction in the NT-proBNP level. You can see 40 to 78% of the benefit of vericiguat on the primary outcome of this component could be attributed to NT-proBNP reduction, indicating a direct cardiac benefit of vericiguat. You can see the curves. The red one is vericiguat and the blue one is, so it produces substantial reduction in the NT-proBNP level. And this is the primary outcome. Hospitalization for heart failure and cardiovascular death decreased by 10%, which is statistically significant, and this was driven mainly by hospitalization for heart failure. The cardiovascular death was not much affected. And you can see the annual event rate per 100 patient years, Verisuget is 33.6, placebo 37.8, and the hazard ratio, of course, is 0.90, P is significant, and the absolute reduction is 4.2 events per 100 patient years, and the annual NT you can see is very small, 24. And here you can see a statistically significant in the primary composite of cardiovascular death, hospitalization for heart failure. Cardiovascular death is not affected. Total hospitalization for heart failure, significant difference. Heart failure hospitalization, all-cause mortality combined, there's a difference, but all-cause mortality or cardiovascular death is not affected. And it has a very good safety profile. You can see majority of patients can achieve the target dose. Symptomatic hypotension is much uncommon, and the rates of adverse events and the side effects were numerically lower with vericiguat compared to the placebo. So why initiating vericiguat is so easy? If the EGFR is more than 15, the patient is off IV diuretics. Usually we initiate with 2.5 milligram and then gradually increase after 2 weeks or so, 5, and ultimately we reach the 10 milligram doses. And the reason for its use in worsening heart failure is that it does not produce any significant reduction in the systolic blood pressure, unlike ARNI or other drugs. And whether the individual is less than 75 or more than 75, BP more than 110 or less than 110, or patient is on valsartan, sacubitril valsartan or no, blood pressure is not, and there's no significant change in the sodium or potassium levels, unlike ARNI or MRAs where the potassium levels may increase and creates problem. And no significant change in EGFR, as you can see, whether it is less than 30, 30 to 60 or so. It can be prescribed to even up to stage 4 CKD. Now, there are 3 types of patients in which it can be utilized. Patient of worsening heart failure who's already on the 4 foundational drugs and on optimum doses, vericiguat can be used and you will get the benefit. The second scenario is patient is admitted with worsening heart failure, but he is on suboptimal background therapy because the systolic blood pressure decreased following use of ARNI, the potassium has increased following use of ARNI, following MRAs, and it can be initiated and later on these drugs can be readjusted, or some side effects that occurred. And the third scenario is patient of worsening heart failure on suboptimal background therapy, but completion of background therapy was possible due to some reason. The physician who was treating has not put the patient on optimum background therapy. There also vericiguat can be introduced and then you can utilize other 4 drugs. Vericiguat can be initiated in hospital prior to discharge or first follow-up after hospitalization for heart failure or following requirement for IV diuretics. When we compare vericiguat with other trials, one has to realize that vericiguat 100% patients were on worsening heart failure, unlike paradigm HF was a chronic heart failure, DAPA-HF and EMPEROR, but the benefits is comparable. Again, despite higher baseline NT-proBNP, Victoria showed that vericiguat has an absolute benefit comparable to the other HF studies, but you can see vericiguat, the Victoria trial has a very high risk patients, unlike these trials where the risk of patient is not that high. So what are the guideline recommendations? The ESC 2021 has recommended it for patients with worsening heart failure, and ACCHA2BB recommendation, ESC again to BB recommendation, and recommendations of virtually all professional bodies across the globe. So besides the conventional 4 foundational drugs, vericiguat is another very useful addition to patients suffering from worsening heart failure. What is the impact of vericiguat on trajectory of heart failure is very beautifully shown. The earlier you initiate, the better are the results. So if you initiate here, you will get better result. If you initiate very late, the results are suboptimal. So diagnose worsening heart failure, try to initiate at the earliest rather than waiting for the last. So vericiguat is a new blockbuster for worsening heart failure. It significantly decreases the risk of cardiovascular death or hospitalization for heart failure in a high-risk population by 4.2 events per 100 patients. Unlike other drugs, vericiguat is easy to initiate because it does not have any significant effect on the BP, EGFR, sodium or potassium, and it has demonstrated efficacy irrespective of the background therapy, whether patient is ARNI or not or other four foundational drugs, and it provides benefit to patient of worsening heart failure with comorbidities, AF, CAD, CKD, and so on. And another thing to remember is that if you initiate vericiguat late when it is more than antiproven, more than 8,000 pg per ml, the benefit may not be there because there are hardly any myocyte which can be utilized. So try to initiate early. Here you can see that when you initiate early, the benefit is more, but as you go, the hazard ratio reaches virtually 1, and that may even cross 1. So early initiation is important. Again, the same thing is shown here. You get benefit, but after 8,000, you may have adverse events. In some countries, is not approved for pregnancy, and it is not recommended. And if you are using concomitant PDE5 drugs and inhibitors, this should not be used. Again, nitrates, because they also produce vasodilatation, hypotension less than 100 again, and concomitant use of other drugs which have soluble gyrate cyclase inhibitors, that's drugs in pulmonary hypertension. This is not to be utilized. So in summary, vericiguat is a boon for patients of worsening heart failure and is the first agent to be specifically recommended for this subset of patients. Use vericiguat in worsening heart failure and slow down its trajectory. Thank you very much.
Hello. Thank you for sharing insights, sir.